Hi, I'm Sam Horn, and welcome to What Is Your Pregame? I heard that you won a bet on me.
I did win a bet.
I'm making pancakes. I'm making pancakes.
Can you cook like
Yeah, I can cook a little bit. Yeah.
Next thing I know, I was hanging out with Floyd Mayweather and his crew, and now I train in his gym full time. I live out there now.
Hi, I'm Sam Horn, and welcome to What Is Your Pregame? And on today's show, we're going to hang out with President of On-Field Operations, Dave Dombrowski. We're going to spar a little bit with an up-and-coming boxer, Anthony Marcella. We're going to go down to the dugout, and we're going to talk to a couple of guys about breakfast. I'm not even talking about the game. I'm talking breakfast, man. And then we're going to wrap it up with our fan of the week. So sit back and relax as we bring you What Is Your Pregame? All right, welcome back to What Is Your Pregame? We're here with the Red Sox President of On-the-Field Operations, Dave Dombrowski. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Sam. How you doing?
All right, we go way back. Why don't you tell us a story about when I first met you?
Well, we go back, way back, as you said, probably further than most, because actually when you were a senior in high school, I was with the Chicago White Sox organization working in the front office. Part of my responsibility was scouting at that point. And you being a highly touted individual, #1 draft choice, I actually went out and saw you play in high school at that point out in California, and came across very impressed at that particular time, so which of course a lot of people were. I'm not sure that a lot of times when people go through the years and time passes, if they realize how good a player some individuals were at that particular moment, but you were an outstanding young player.
Well, thank you for that. I heard that you won a bet on me.
I did win a bet. We had a scout. A scout, actually, I was known for baseball and basketball. His name Jerry Krause. Jerry Krause just went into the Basketball Hall of Fame, and so we were in a position, unfortunately passed away over the last year, but we were in a position where we were debating different players, and I liked you a great deal. Jerry liked you, but not quite as much, and we were talking about big power hitters, and there was a gentleman that was drafted the year before out of Arizona. He was a second-round pick by the name of Wes Kent, a big first baseman, and Jerry liked Wes Kent better than I liked Wes Kent. And so he said, I don't like Horn as much as you. He's not going to be as good a player. I said, well, I'll tell you what, he's going to be a lot better than Wes Kent was going to be. And he said, oh, no. And so we placed a bet on who would hit the most career major league home runs. And we'd be in a position where whoever did the other one have to buy the other dinner. And thank you. I owe you a thank you because you hit many more home runs than he did.
Well, thanks. You could owe me a dinner, too. I'll take one of those.
You got a deal.
All right, so you're a two-sport guy, baseball, football. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, when I was growing up, just like a lot of people my age, you played multi-sports. And I played 3 sports, but got rid of basketball in high school, and then went on and played football at Cornell University my freshman year. I was a defensive lineman, not quite as big at that particular time as they are defensive linemen now, as you can see. So I'm a little bit older, so I don't weigh quite as much as I used to. But I was a defensive lineman. I was a first baseman playing baseball. I played through high school. And then I played in the summer leagues, the collegiate summer leagues in the Chicagoland area for baseball. But after my freshman year, I transferred to Western Michigan University, a variety of reasons. Sat out that year, then playing football, so I never played football anymore collegiately, and then was in a position where I continued to play in the summer leagues baseball-wise, but never was quite good enough to make it in the professional level, and you can tell that because anytime you can get into the front office and you're 21 years of age, people say, well, how'd you get in there? Well, because I wasn't good enough to be playing on the field.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know, so there you go. You were in a great place. So let me ask you another question, Dave. As an athlete, and you're talking about the front office as a president, what is your pregame? What is your routine like as far as your eating habits? Is there much of a difference, or is it harder than it looks than when we see you up there in the window?
Well, usually when you see me up in the window at that point, the game is about ready to start. And usually what I'll do is go up before my box here in Fenway. It's a little bit different type of routine when I'm on the road, but I'm in a position where I'll go up there, try to eat dinner half hour before the game.
What would you have for dinner?
Well, they serve a variety of food there, so very similar to what they serve in other boxes. We have them up there. Our whole baseball operations is up in that suite area. So a lot of times I'll just sit down, I'll have dinner up there, and it is really a variety. There's 2 or 3 choices up there. I try to eat as healthy as possible. Not always possible, and I'm not always great at it, but I do understand the importance of eating healthy, being around the athletes, and also for my own well-being. But by the time the game starts, then I like to have completed the eating process and be in a position where I can really focus on the game, really watch intently with the game. I'm probably not a fun person to sit with during the game, like family and friends, because I really am intense, don't like to miss a pitch. When I first started in professional baseball, the general manager of the Chicago White Sox was a gentleman by the name of Roland Hemond, a very long-time baseball man, very famous general manager. And I remember I asked Roland at that time, well, how do you learn about the game at the professional level? And one thing he told me at that time, he says, Dave, I'd never miss a pitch.
Wow.
Watch every pitch that's thrown because you can never tell which pitch the game will turn on.
Oh, that's important to hear. I missed a few pitches, and now I know that's why I missed the game.
Well, I think you're all right. I don't think you. But so I really have always tried to make it that I don't miss a pitch, and I really focus. I keep score during the game. It keeps you in the game, and also when I'm there, I'll make notes on my scorecard that sometimes I'll talk to John Farrell about after the game or the next day, or talk to a trainer about. So really, during the game, if people come up there, they'll find that I'm really not a really enjoyable person to sit with because I really focus on the game. Do talk baseball with the people that are up there during the game time period. And then on the road, it's a little bit different because your eating may start a little bit earlier, and you go up, and sometimes you have a visiting general manager's box that you can sit in, or sometimes they have to sit up in the press box depending upon what seats are available.
Their work ethics is second to none. Is it better for talent or ability?
Well, that's a great question.
Now, we are a 116-year-old, 4th generation family-held construction management firm, of which I represent the 4th generation. In addition to our work at Fenway, we work for all of the fine institutions across the city, from Mass General Hospital and Brigham and Women's to Boston University to Boston College, and even across the river at MIT. But with these clients comes very, very high expectations on their projects. So I can say, representing the 4th generation at Walsh Brothers, we build to perfection.
My name is George Mumford, and I've been a Mercedes-Benz owner 16 years, and about 14 of those years I've been working with a particular salesperson at TJ. And so when he came to Mercedes-Benz of Burlington, I came with him. I love my experience as a Mercedes-Benz dealer because the service is immaculate. The vehicle is great. Right now I have a GLE 350 2016, and it's an amazing vehicle. It does everything but drive itself, and on some level it can do that with the cruise control. The thing about Mercedes-Benz is that it offers me an excellent product, and what makes it so special about me coming to Mercedes-Benz of Burlington is because of my relationship with TJ and the excellent service and kindness, courtesy that I get when I come here, and that's why I continue to come to Mercedes Burlington.
Looking for one of the best steakhouses in Boston? A place to mingle and socialize. Hang out before and after the game? Well, Del Fresco's is the place to be. Award-winning wines, great spirits, fresh seafood, and the home of the Double Eagle Steak. When you're looking to outlast your opponent, it all starts with your pregame. Del Fresco Steakhouse, for when you want to be on top of your game. Pow!
When I'm in Boston, I hang out with Sam Horn. What is your pregame?
All right, and welcome back to What is Your Pregame. We're going to finish our conversation with Dave Dombrowski as he tells us how he evaluates talent and prepares for pressure. Of course, you've been evaluating talent for a long time. Would you rather have a player that is just gifted with talent, or would you like to have that player that is maybe a little less talented, but their work ethics is second to none? Is it better for talent or ability?
Well, that's a great question. And we talk about that a lot because it's a situation where you always want the talent. However, if you don't have the makeup of the player, it doesn't do you as much good. So you can have a very talented individual that doesn't work as hard, that doesn't fit in with the club, that causes off-field problems. So I would much rather sacrifice a little bit of talent for that player that has the great makeup and gives you everything that he can, and be in a position where, of course, the guy still has to have talent,
Right.
because you can find a lot of people that have great makeups and do a lot of good things, but they can't play at all, and you end up finishing in last place. But overall, I'd be in a position where I'd love to have that guy that has the good ability and the great makeup versus the great ability and not good makeup at all.
In this sport, in this game, there's a lot of pressure. Where do you go when there's a pressure moment and you just need a minute to kind of regroup? How do you go about doing that?
Well, I deal with it in a couple ways. First of all, it's interesting. I think when you do the job as long as I have, and you are prepared to deal with the pressure, you really don't feel that much pressure. Like, really, the reality is, I think it's at a minimum for me. When people talk about feeling that, having played sports and then being in a position where I'm in the front office, I really don't feel that type of intense pressure that a lot of people talk about. But my releases end up being in a position where I try to work out. So what I do is I jog. I'm a jogger. I jog about 4 days a week.
How far?
I'll jog 35 minutes,
Oh, so
35 to 40 minutes, however long it takes me. I'm not really worried about the distance as much as it keeps me in shape, keeps my heart in shape. But it's also amazing how it clears my mind, and it also allows me to think about different things that I want to think about. And so it really helps me, and that helps me deal with the release of dealing with whatever pressures you need to on a daily basis.
Well, there's a lot of pressures on the Red Sox. Congratulations on making it to the playoffs. Does it matter what team you really start with?
No, it really doesn't. The only difference is for me is I really would like to avoid the wild card game. I don't like those one-game playoffs, so I don't care who you play in that one game. I don't like. But if we win our division, which we're hopeful of doing and we have a good chance to do, then I'm in a position where it really makes no difference, because you're going to play a good club in September, or into late September, early October, whoever it may be. And so you're in a position where you're going to have to beat the best, and they're all good.
All right, thanks for stopping by, Dave. All of that talk that made me hungry. Let's go down to the dugout and see what the meal of the day is. I know that you're a big breakfast guy.
Right.
Tell me what that means for you. If you went to bed late, woke up late, are you grabbing a turkey sandwich, or what are you having?
No, I'm one of those guys that no matter what time I get up, whether it's 7 a.m. or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it's got to be breakfast for me. Gotta be. Can't start my day with anything other than that. I mean, if there's no options, I guess you don't really have a choice there. But I'll go out of my way to go get a breakfast. I'll make it myself.
What would that consist of?
Ideally, if I'm down at my house cooking breakfast, it's probably some sort of scrambled eggs with a bunch of stuff in it. I'm cooking bacon. I'm making pancake. I'm making pancakes.
Can you cook like that?
Yeah, I can cook a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm doing the whole assortment of everything.
I love breakfast. I have breakfast. It's a little different now, Sam, for yourself. These guys have a breakfast here. We didn't have a breakfast at the ballpark. They have a lunch or a snack here, and then they can have a full dinner. We had like maybe, I eat breakfast at the hotel. I didn't have a snack at the ballpark. I couldn't play on a full stomach. Some guys could go out and come to the ballpark and have a dinner, really, and go out and play. You look at a guy like Freddie Lynn, Rick Burleson, Dwight Evans, those guys just go, wait, have chicken or something like that, and go and have a snack, but I couldn't do that. When I had breakfast, that was it. I didn't eat anything till late on that night.
What would a breakfast consist of? Are you an eggs and bacon man?
Okay, being from the South, we have grits.
Yep.
And so if I wanted grits, I had to call home, and then my mom or dad would send it up. But when I got here, now you have Cracker Barrel, they have grits now. So it was normally, my wife would have grits because we got it from South Carolina, but I would have like bacon, egg, patty sausage. I don't like no link sausage. Patty sausage, something like that. And then when you go to a hotel, it's always like an omelet and bacon or omelet. I'm not a ham guy, something like that. But I didn't, I never was a big eater. I'm not a sweets guy. I'm more of a junk fooder.
Honestly, probably something small. It's the day that I pitch, day game or night game, it's tough for me to eat a really big meal. I'm extremely excited, the day that I'm pitching, and I feel like the more food that I eat, I feel like makes me feel bogged down or whatever it is. So I'll eat something light, just get a quesadilla, chicken quesadilla, or some pasta, something like that in my system that can hang around for a while and last me throughout the game.
Okay, guys, I'm all in. I'll take 4 eggs over medium, hash browns, a ton of bacon with a side of waffles. Now that's my pregame. Top that.
First couple times I've been in his presence, wholehearted guy. But I mean, depending on the situation, he could be the guy you see on TV.
Right.
But other times, he can go out of his way, taking care of people, getting them out of trouble.
JP Fuji Group is the largest operating Pan-Asian restaurant group in the Metro Boston area, with 10 varying concepts including fine dining and fast casual atmospheres. Guests of any JP Fuji Group establishment can always expect the highest quality ingredients, innovative menus, and superior customer service.
I want to give them a present. I want to give them a gift, and I love doing what I do. Nothing beats that feeling of give people something. I hope they can taste the love that I put on every single dish.
Hi, I'm Sam Horn, and welcome to What Is Your Pregame, a new show full of flavor and with a little twist.
When I'm in Boston, I hang out with Sam Horn. What is your pregame?
We'll bring you up close and personal with some of your favorite CEOs, celebrities, and athletes to find out their pregame. We will take you behind the scenes at some of your favorite restaurants to find the best high-performance recipes. Hang out in the dugout as we talk pregame prep with some of the game's best players and coaches. All this and much more on What Is Your Pregame? You're watching What Is Your Pregame? We'll be right back after this.
Garrick Insurance is a 30-year-old insurance agency with kangaroo being our symbol of protection. I am the big kangaroo protecting my clients in my pouch. We specialize in insuring real estate and restaurant risks, and we don't discriminate about the size. Whether it's a 2-family in Somerville or a Chinese takeout in Chelsea or a 1,000-unit apartment buildings or a chain of restaurants, at Garrick we insure it all.
Hey, I'm David Price. When I'm in Boston, I hang out with Sam Horn. What is your pregame?
Coming up next, a young champion building his boxing resume, Anthony Marcella. All right, welcome back. We're hanging out with the champion, Anthony Marcella. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Going on, man. It's a pleasure.
All right, congratulations on starting out 6-0. What does that feel like?
It's just the beginning, so it's exciting. I'm glad. I have 6-0, 3 knockouts. Trying to keep that knockout ratio, good. That's what everybody wants to see,
I know you had said that, building your record is like building your resume. This is all about a business. Tell us a little bit about the business side of this.
The business side of boxing is very complex, but I think that's what separates me from the average fighters. Even some of the most talented fighters is they don't really understand what goes on behind the scenes. So me and my father having a good understanding of everything and fighting locally in Providence, since I have a good fan base, we're able to kind of control the pace of things. And at this level of the game, that's very important because a lot of guys get thrown in over their head early in the game, and that could jeopardize your whole career.
Well, boxing, that is a very hard sport. You're a nice-looking guy. Do you ever get nervous when you're in the ring?
Nervous for the event, yeah. Nervous for the fight, no. I've been in the ring probably thousands of times between sparring matches and amateur fights. And for me, it's just making sure nothing goes wrong in the event, I put a lot of time into this, and 6-0, if I was to be 6-1, that could jeopardize a lot of things, kind of put you back. You got to win 6 more fights just to kind of recoup that one loss.
So, of course, we're not talking about losing. We're only talking about winning, and that's all you've done since you stepped into the ring. Tell us, what is your pregame?
My pregame, obviously, training camp. We need about 4 to 6 weeks to prepare for a fight. I'm fighting 6-rounders right now. Obviously, when you go pro, you fight 4 rounds, and so I think I did four rounders. We moved up to 6. We'll probably do about 1 or 2 more 6-rounders before we move up to 8, and then we'll go to 10, and then obviously 12 rounds is a main event championship level fight. But as far as preparing, my pregame, 2 to 3 weeks out, you got to tighten up that diet. That's the worst part of everything, and I think that's probably the hardest part of boxing. But just getting your mind right, preparing mentally. There's no really tricks or secrets to the trade. You know, everybody has their own style of things, but for me, it's just making sure that I'm comfortable. So my pregame is just staying relaxed, you know, throughout the whole thing, not overthinking things, and making sure I'm mentally and physically prepared come fight week.
Boxing is a physical sport. We want to know, is it more important to be mentally or physically prepared? Let's ask Anthony.
I think the guy who's mentally prepared is probably more prepared than the guy who's more physically prepared. I think I could be a couple months out of shape, and as long as I'm comfortable and confident in myself, right, I could probably find a way to win. You know, I mean, boxing's a chess match. Okay. So I mean, you could find a way, you know, not to exert as much energy, not to tire yourself out, to beat, you know, the right opponent. I mean, styles make fights in boxing too. So I mean, there's different guys. I mean, you could be completely out of shape, but if you have a guy who isn't a pressure fighter, you know, it could be a walk in the park for you.
Hey Anthony, it's pretty cool you get to hang out with Mayweather. Tell me, what is he like when the cameras are off?
First couple times I've been in his presence, wholehearted guy. But I mean, depending on the situation, you know, he could be the guy you see on TV. Right. But other times, you know, he can go out of his way, you know, taking care of people, getting them out of trouble, whatever it's got to be. You know, there's people around him are definitely taken care of, and I mean, he's definitely got a big heart. When I first met him, I had probably $500 in my pocket. I was out there just trying to make a name, and he helped me out, gave me a couple of bucks, put me up in an apartment, and I was like, you know, we'll see what you got. And I did well. I sparred with a couple of his guys, and next thing I know, you know, I was hanging out with Floyd Mayweather and his crew, and now I train in his gym full time. I live out there now.
Great story, Anthony. But what I really want to know, what is your main ingredient the day of the fight?
You're watching What Is Your Pregame? Up next, the main ingredient.
So the coach says you can do one thing or have one thing the morning of the fight. What do you do?
But just for me, because my coach's thing is about me being comfortable. So it's just whatever's gonna make you comfortable, and it's sleep. Sleep is a key factor for me. I like to sleep really as long as I can. We have to be at the event. I mean, even if you're fighting at 9, 10 at night, you gotta be checked into the commission and whatnot around like 3, 4 o'clock. So I mean, I'm sleeping up until 1, 2, because for me, if I'm fighting around 9, 10 o'clock at night, I don't want to be at the end of my day, you know, on the downward swing. I want to be at the peak of my day, so my body's ready to go.
Thank you, Anthony. Back to you, Sam.
Thanks, Victoria. Sleeping as a pregame? Now that's definitely something I can get used to. Up next is our Fan of the Week. We'll be right back after this. Looking for one of the best steakhouses in Boston? A place to mingle and socialize. Hang out before and after the game? Well, Del Fresco's is the place to be. Award-winning wines, great spirits, fresh seafood, and the home of the Double Eagle Steak. When you're looking to outlast your opponent, it all starts with your pregame. Del Fresco Steakhouse, for when you want to be on top of your game.
We are a 116-year-old, fourth-generation, family-held construction management firm, of which I represent the fourth generation. In addition to our work at Fenway, we work for all of the fine institutions across the city, from Mass General Hospital and Brigham and Women's to Boston University to Boston College, and even across the river at MIT. But with these clients comes very, very high expectations on their projects. So I can say, representing the fourth generation at Walsh Brothers, we build to perfection.
Garrick Insurance is a 30-year-old insurance agency with kangaroo being our symbol of protection. I am the big kangaroo protecting my clients in my pouch. We specialize in insuring real estate and restaurant risks, and we don't discriminate about the size. Whether it's a two-family in Somerville or a Chinese takeout in Chelsea or 1,000-unit apartment buildings or a chain of restaurants. At Garrick, we insure it all.
Hi, I'm Anthony Marcel, professional boxer, and when I'm in Boston, I'm hanging out with Sam Horn. What is your pregame?
Welcome back. Before we wrap up today, let's visit with Victoria and our Fan of the Week.
What did you do to prepare for your day as a Marine? Let's talk about that.
I woke up and left and went to boot camp. And I got into boot camp and went through it for 13 weeks. And I was in boot camp for 9/11, so after 9/11 I came home, was on leave for 10 days, and after that it was off to the regular stuff. And then 2003 I went to Iraq, and that was that.
And how did you prepare? How did you prepare yourself for that?
Well, I was 19 years old, and I was scared, and I was nervous, and but no one wanted to mention that, so everyone just goes over there and pretends like nothing's going on.
Right.
You get there, and you just kind of do what you have to do, and live life the way it is, and you come home, and here I am. So.
Did you prepare yourself mentally, physically, every day? Like, how did you prepare?
You're too young to prepare yourself mentally because you don't know what you're going to be up against. So you prepare yourself as in kind of like, this is what we're supposed to do, this is why we're here, and then you get over there and you do what you have to do, and then you come home and you're just thankful that you're home.
Well, I want to thank you for being a Marine and serving your country.
No.
Seriously, it's
I don't
true.
Thanks. Yeah,
well, you deserve it, but thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on What Is Your Pregame?
Yeah, you got it. All right, have a good one.
We'd like to say a special thanks to our guests today, Dave Dombrowski and Anthony Marcella. We'd also like to say thanks to our sponsors, Garrick Insurance, Walsh Brothers Construction, and Fresco Steakhouse. And we'd like to thank you, the viewers, for watching our show. You can visit us on whatisyourpregame.com and other social media. And a very special thank you to the people serving our country here and abroad. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. So just like that.
You're watching What Is Your Pregame? Up next with
the main ingredient.
With Victoria?
No, or the main ingredient.
Oh, they just calling you out. You see that? They give y'all no credit. I just yeah, that's good.